Welcome to the Mindset Chick podcast. If you are looking to stop settling and want to gain the clarity and confidence to manifest the life and biz of your dreams, then this show is for you. I'm your host, Kristi Dear, sharing with you simple yet powerful and effective mindset tips that will allow you to attract more abundance, prosperity, and success into your life. So get ready, get excited, and let's go manifest some amazing things together. Hey, and welcome back to the Mindset Chick podcast. I'm so happy to have you here. And today I have a very special guest, somebody who I'm very excited to introduce you to. Her name is Brianne Ligori. Brianne took a trip with her family in 2018 to Costa Rica. Amidst the beautiful landscape, she thought about her life. She had everything, a perfect husband, lovely kids, a well-paying job. Why wasn't she more happy? While watching the locals living their pura vida life, she had an epiphany. Ever since she could remember, she had been living what she's coined a treadmill life, jumping from obligation to obligation. Her new book, Claiming Your TGIToday, arms other highly motivated women with the tools needed to slow down and enjoy life before it passes them by. So, Brianne, it's so great to have you on the Mindset Chick podcast.
Thank you, Kristi, so much for having me. I'm super, super excited to be here with you.
Yes. So, okay, your story really caught my attention. In November of 2018, you said you and your family took a trip to Costa Rica that changed your life. Can you share with us more about that?
Oh, I sure can. So oh my gosh, it's so vivid in my memory. We were on a family vacation, Costa Rica, like most amazing place in the world. I love it so much. And I remember laying on the beach and sort of doing like a bit of an inventory of my life and kind of going, okay, like it seems like things are pretty good. Like, check, I've got an awesome job. Check, I got the family, the house, the cars, the vacations whenever we want them. Why the heck am I asking myself the question, is there more to life? So it was like this like gentle whisper that kept repeating in my mind, there's more to life, there's more to life. And I started feeling guilty for having that feeling because like I literally had everything anybody could ever imagine that they would want. And so it took a lot of deep soul searching for me to realize that I was actually defining success based on everything outside of myself. So, I was striving for that next job promotion and getting a bigger house and worrying about what people thought of me and what we had and all of those things. Because honestly, like society conditions us to see success that way. Everything that's outside of ourselves.
Yes.
The job title we hold, all of those things. And so for me, it was like a bit of a rewire that needed to happen so that I could start to feel my own definition of success. So redefining what success meant for me was all about understanding who I am, what I want, and starting to make choices to live by that. So that was sort of that huge pivotal moment in my life where I realized like there is more. And it's not just about collecting a bunch of stuff. It's about living a meaningful life. And so from that moment on, I made it my mission to really understand how do we get there? How do we get to this place of living a more joyous life in the moment? And I started to kind of reflect on, people that I was leading and the organization I was at and people that I was coaching all over the world. And I was starting to see sort of a pattern emerge. And so many of us were living in this same place where we're defining success based on the outside. And it created this sort of what I call TGIF mentality. So, okay, we all know Fridays. Who doesn't love a good Friday, right? TGIF, it's all good. We're tired. It's been a long week. So totally cool. Not hating on Fridays, but this mindset is more about wishing for things in the future to bring us our happiness. And so when we're living in a TGIF mindset, everything outside of ourselves in the future is what we're striving towards to get that happiness. So for me, it was like, okay, when I get that next job title, like I'll be happy at that point. But the problem is that when I would get there, I wouldn't be fully arriving in the moment. I'd be setting my eyes on the next thing. What is that next thing I can achieve? So I would never actually fully enjoy the moment. And joy started to become this moving target. And that is why I was feeling just sort of this disconnect inside. Although I had everything on the outside, I was constantly chasing and never arriving. And, through so much research with women all over the world, I realized we are all in a very similar place around this sort of TGIF mentality.
Yeah, that's so true. And so many good points that you said. Yeah, like you said, a lot of us are like that. We'll say we'll be happy when we get XYZ. And then we get that thing. And it doesn't really make us happy because happiness is an inside job, right?
Yeah.
And then we're like, well, what's next? You can kind of get into the spot where it's like never enough. It's like you just keep collecting, you keep wanting more. And then people are like, okay, why am I still feeling unhappy?
Yes. Yeah. There's always going to be someone with a bigger house, a loftier job title, something else more. Yeah. So we're just never going to get there.
How would you encourage somebody to start, if they've been conditioned and, like we pretty much all have, to strive for that next level of success or that next goal? How would somebody start living TGIF today?
Yeah. So that is the solution that I was after I had this, sort of life epiphany. I started interviewing people all over the world. I started sort of trying to uncover what are the factors that go into our joy today? How do we create a TGI today life instead of living this TGIF life? And that is where the TGI Today formula was born. And this is the formula that's in my book, Claiming Your TGI Today. And it is all about helping us get to this place of happiness today. So I would love to share that with you. So listeners, grab your pens. The TGI Today formula is purpose plus people plus pace. And it all sits on the foundation of the power of choice. So when we look at our purpose, what we're here on earth to achieve, if something's not lining up for us, we have the choice to do something different. With the people. So if we want to live a more joyous life, we really need to be surrounding ourselves with people that are going to lift us up, propel us towards our goals. If that is not working for us, then we're being dragged down by certain people. We have a choice. And then finally, pace, a huge one for so many of us. So many of us are just feeling exhausted by the pace of life. So if it's not working for you, you have the power of choice to do something different.
Ooh, I love that. That's so good. Purpose plus people plus pace and choice.
Yes. So it's sort of like divided by the power of choice.
Oh, yeah. That's so good. And, so true. Because a lot of people, I feel like they think, well, I don't have a choice. So maybe somebody is like, well, I have to pay these bills. I have to have this maybe even struggle, or I have to have this. You mentioned you felt like you were living a treadmill life and obligation to obligation. Maybe somebody feels like they have to do that. They don't even feel like they can slow down. What would you say to them?
Yeah, I have been there. I think so many women all over the world are with you. It can often feel like we're not in the driver's seat of our life. And at the end of the day, the reality is we are. Every single choice we made is what led us to where we are today. So it's not about making a drastic change. So for me, I did quit my corporate job a year and a half ago, and I'm leading 2 businesses. I'm loving it. However, you can find joy where you are today. It took me about 5 years to get to that place where I made that huge leap. So it is really about making small shifts. So I always suggest that people, do a bit of an inventory of your to-do list. Okay. So start jotting down all of the things that you do in a day. It's probably going to be a lot.
Yeah.
Take a moment and I want you to look at that to-do list, and I want you to be ruthless with this list. And I want you to start circling all the should do's. So these are the things that you think you should do to make someone else happy. Things that you feel obligated to do that really doesn't feel right and aligned for you. You know exactly what these are. Okay. Absolutely. When you look at your list, they're going to light up like a Christmas tree. They're going to be really obvious. So take a look at those shoulds, circle them. And I want you to make one small choice to shift one should do. Okay. Acts one should at a time. It doesn't need to be a complete overhaul today because that really is a really tough thing to do. But it is micro, small changes, really standing in the truth of who you are and what you want. And when you do that and you decide to spend your time doing those things rather than those should do things, you start to really reclaim control of your life and really step into that driver's seat instead of being a passenger in the back seat.
Yeah, that's so good because it's not overwhelming. It's like you said, it's one step at a time.
Yeah.
One crossing out one I should could free up maybe an hour, 2 hours, or maybe just enough time for you to like somebody to relax, just take a breath and maybe just even, sit in quiet time for 5 minutes. I used to do that when my kids were little. I was like, just 5 minutes of
5 minutes. I'll take anything.
I'll take anything. Yeah. But it would help so much because otherwise you just felt like, or I felt like I was just running around, just constantly reacting, not responding.
Yes.
Like reacting to the day instead of like being intentional about how I wanted my day to be.
Oh, it's so good, Kristi. Like, I love what you're saying there. And I think one thing I've learned recently is that I, for the longest time, was getting up and diving into my day head first. So like getting up, getting straight on the treadmill or the bike and go to like 10 o'clock at night and like not stopping. And so when you're talking about even taking that 5 minutes, what I learned about myself is that when I start my day running, the rest of my day mirrors that feeling. So I start to have anxiety and just feelings of, oh my gosh, I don't know how I'm going to do this. But for me, I decided to get up 15 minutes earlier, have a cup of tea, grab my journal, just take even a few minutes for myself before I dive headfirst into all of the to-dos that I have. And honestly, it has made such a significant impact on my day. The rest of my day starts to feel so much more flowing when I put myself first at the beginning of the day. So huge learning I just had in the last couple of weeks that I just thought might be helpful for your listeners as well.
Yeah, I love that. And I'm the same way. Like I didn't used to do that, but I love getting up and having my coffee and doing my morning mindset and just relaxing and I love that you said, the start of your day, if you get up and just start running, that mirrors your day.
Yeah.
That you said that. And that we have a choice and being intentional about what we're putting on our to-do list and I should do this, I should do this. But we have a choice in what we're creating in our day and our reality. And just being aware of that is powerful.
The awareness is huge.
So in your bio, you talked about in Costa Rica, you noticed that the people there were living a pura vida life. Can you explain a little bit more about that? That was intriguing to me.
Oh, yeah. So this for me was sort of the saying that kind of triggered me to kind of do a bit of a life inventory on the beach that day. And pura vida is all about sort of living that pure life. So the Costa Ricans, they don't strive to collect a whole bunch of stuff. They literally live in the moment by moment, and they are so happy. It's contagious. They don't worry about, oh my gosh, I need to have $1 million in my bank account. They literally, trade like a mango for like, something else they need from a neighbor. And they're truly happy because they're connecting with people and they're just living what they call this pure life. And for me, it was such a huge kind of smack on the head to go, what the hell am I doing with my life? Why am I so worried about just advancing? Like, I think I had, in my corporate tenure of 18 years, like I had like 10 different jobs. I was literally jumping to the next job within 18 months to 2 years because I was like, oh my gosh, I got to climb, achieve. And it was the moment when I saw the saying pura vida, and it just really shifted everything for me.
Yeah, that's beautiful. And just you saying that, it just feels like this peace energy. And gosh, I mean, we're so not taught that. And there's so many people out there, just like we talked about before, running to the next thing and the next thing and the next thing and feeling like they have to achieve and basing their worthiness on their success and their stuff and their houses and their income and their cars. And it can be just so exhausting. I mean, I love that there's people out there living, this pura vida lifestyle and not worrying about the next thing or the next thing, but living in the moment. It's so beautiful. How would you, let's just say, we talked about this a little bit before, but like if somebody wanted to start living more in the moment, like if they're like, okay, I want to just start living more in the moment tomorrow and not worrying so much about the future, how could they start implementing that?
So, it really comes down to baby steps, because anything that we try and do in terms of like a drastic overhaul, I know anytime I try and go on like some serious diet, like it always fails, right? Like it's just so extreme. So really, this is the same approach. You want to take baby steps. And the first step, I would say, is about intention setting. Okay. Because we live in such a fast-paced world that really wants us to collect more and to be more and to do more, that every single day you're going to be hit by messages in the media, from family, from friends, in magazines, whatever it might be, whether intentional or not, you're going to be kind of encouraged to come back to the TGIF lifestyle. So every single day, I recommend that you set an intention at the beginning of your day, that you want to really start to claim more joy in today. Because honestly, we don't know if tomorrow's going to be here for any of us, right? Today is where it's at. We don't have anything but today. So by simply setting that intention, you're really sort of like what I was doing in the morning. The way I start my day is the way my day flows and mirrors. If you start with this intention of the way you want to live your day, things will start to fall into place. And you don't have to be perfect. If you fall off, it's all good. I mean, there's nothing wrong with having a good job and, having a nice house and all of those things. But when we put ourselves first in terms of our happiness and really understanding ourselves, those things will actually naturally happen and naturally show up in terms of abundance in our life. So intention setting is the way to go.
Love that. So good. Be intentional about your day. Yes, I love it. So, Brianne, what would you say is your favorite quote that you love to live by?
Oh my gosh. I'm so glad you asked, because I have to say Wayne Dyer is my guru. I don't know if you know Wayne. I love Wayne. I know he's not here with us, right? He's so good. So he passed in 2014, but he has had such a significant impact on my life. And the quote that I love from him is, when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. Powerhouse quote, right? It all goes back to that power of choice. So if we choose to be a victim of our circumstances and feel like we have no control over our life and our day, guess what? That's going to follow. If we shift that and start to know and believe that we can control our day and our happiness and our joy, so much will shift for you.
That's so good. That's one of my favorite quotes too. I love
it.
And it's so simple, yet so powerful. And it could just be all with how we look at things. And like you mentioned, just, living more in the moment, being more present, maybe putting our, phones down more, like actually having a conversation with somebody, and put the phone away, put it on do not disturb, and just be living in the present moment. I love all this so much. And it's such a good reminder. Just step out. You have the choice, freedom to step out of the rat race, the treadmill lifestyle anytime you choose.
You sure do.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Brianne, for just sharing all of your wisdom and your good nuggets. And I love it so much. And it's just such an even reminder to me to live more in the moment and be intentional. So how can the listeners connect with you and get to know you more?
Well, you can definitely find me on Instagram at Brianne Ligori. You can also check out my website, brianneligori.com, where I have all sorts of free, amazing tools to help you kind of kickstart your journey to find more joy today. My book is also on the website, so you can grab a copy if that's really calling to you, brianneligori.com.
Awesome. I love it. Well, thanks again.
Thank you so much for having me, Kristi.
And remember, friend, to dream big, follow your heart, and never give up on you, because you're worth it. Thank you for joining me today on the Mindset Chick podcast. I hope this show has you waking up every morning excited about the new manifestations you have created in your life. And if you would honor me with a 5-star review over in iTunes, I will happily enter your name in my Mindset Chick swag giveaway. Make sure you add your name to the review and I will reach out to you if you're the winner. I really appreciate you spending your time with me. Be sure to visit me at mindsetchick.com for past episodes and more gifts that will help you to manifest your dreams into reality.